Some exciting changes coming up this week as the moon is heading toward its full moon in Sagittarius. So that's coming up this Thursday. Today, the moon continues in Libra, where we're focusing on balance. We also have 5 planets in Taurus, which will be one by one moving from Taurus into Gemini, where the vibe shifts a little bit. So I'm going to be talking about that today and how, as we head into the Sagittarius full moon, it helps us connect with a bigger picture of truth, how the Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is about our deeper truth, and how the full moon helps us see where we're growing, expanding, and learning more about ourselves and what we're capable of. I'm here with your Astro Vibe for May 19th. My name is Marina Orms, and as we look at heading into this week's Sagittarius full moon, we are in the Taurus moon cycle. So currently 5 planets in Taurus, and then early Monday morning my time, I'm on US Pacific time, the sun goes into Gemini. So one by one, those planets will start to move out of Taurus. We'll have, by the end of the week, Sun, Venus, and Jupiter all going from Taurus into Gemini. So quite a shift in the vibe as we head into this Sagittarius full moon. And the Sagittarius full moon itself is about well, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. It's about expansion. It's about growth. It's about expanding our thinking. So philosophy, beliefs, where we place our faith and trust, where we have hope and optimism, that Sagittarian perspective is one that can see the bigger picture. So the full moon that we're heading into helps to reveal something, which is what full moons do. They reveal something back to us about what we are putting our focus on or our intentions into, right? So that's the way it works. When you set your intentions, ideally around the new moon, then you're really riding this wave of the moon cycle. And then as we head into the full moon, something is reflected back to you about what it is you're creating. How are your actions, your thinking, your beliefs, your ways of supporting yourself, your ways of attending to your emotional needs? How are all of those things helping you to create your intentions, or maybe where do they need to change to be more in alignment with who you need to be to create those outcomes? And with this being a Taurus moon cycle, we are talking about physical physical outcomes, results, tangible results. So we want to see the thing happen. We want to see how it's going to show up in our lives. We want to ask for things that we can see, taste, touch, smell, hear, talk about, describe, understand, make sense of. So all of that is very Taurus. And with the 5 planets in Taurus, we are, of course, focused on how we receive and connect with the earth and know the world through how we relate to it, right? How we receive information through our senses and at that very sensual level. So it's like the information you get through smell, through color, through texture, through flavor, right? It's not words. It's a different kind of information that Taurus helps us to connect with. Of course, as we shift into Gemini, we start to bring that more into the mental realm. So with the sun and then Venus and then Jupiter going into Gemini, we have this real shift in the vibe, moving from that place where it's more primal, more geared around our senses and the ways that we receive on that very physical level, and then we shift into the mental realm and how we're going to describe that. What are the words we're going to use? How are we going to communicate that? So that's how the zodiac supports us. And right, so with Taurus, it's like you smell the grass, right, or the flower or the air. And then in Gemini, it's like, how are you going to describe that? How are you going to put that into words? How are you going to convey that experience to someone else? How are you going to take the information and process it inside of yourself to make sense of it, to find the words, to find the meaning? And that is what we are talking about with the full moon in Sagittarius, is the bigger picture of meaning. So what does it mean? How do we see this as a philosophy or a belief system or a bigger truth? Now we're coming back to this idea of the truth. What is the truth? So as these planetary energies are shifting throughout the week from Taurus into Gemini, we will have 2 planets remaining in Taurus, Mercury a little bit longer into June, and Uranus still will stay in Taurus a little bit longer. So we're going to still have some Taurus energy there, grounding us and reminding us that we have a relationship with the earth. And then we're going to also have this this shift into Gemini, where we do get more in the mental realm, more how are we going to find the words? So with the full moon in Sagittarius, what we're being asked to see and connect with is how our belief systems, how our bigger picture of the truth, our philosophy, how do our beliefs need to grow and expand in order to help us manifest those tangible results that we want to see. So remember, it's all about alignment. It's all about how we are choosing the right actions, the right thinking, the right ways of supporting ourselves, the right emotional process, the right boundaries, right? All the things that we choose. And when we make the choices that are in alignment with the gifts we want to receive, the results we want to call in or manifest, the healing we want to experience, how do we align with that? Through our beliefs. And so beliefs obviously can connect with religion, philosophy, some of those bigger pictures of how someone else defines the truth and how we should experience it. But let's bring it back to our own beliefs and what we believe in terms of how we view the world, how we view who we are in the context of that world, how we view what we are capable of. And so thinking about where we can push those edges of what we believe is possible for ourselves and for our lives, how we can expand into, hey, I can see myself as the person who can receive these gifts, these intentions, these things I want for myself and the world. So how do we open to that bigger picture of possibility and expand into a bigger picture of what we're capable of? So that is this full moon, brings this bigger picture of looking at our thinking, our beliefs, how that thinking is organized, how that thinking needs to grow and expand. We also have Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is about that deeper place of truth and power and honesty and transformation. So, as Pluto, the planet of truth and transformation, is retrograde in Aquarius. So, let's break that down. So, first of all, Pluto in Aquarius is the planet of truth and power in the sign of higher consciousness. Aquarius is that bigger picture of higher level thinking. It is the new thinking of the future. It is the new thinking that we have yet to tap into, right? That we can pull from in terms of our new ideas. So that's the definition of a new idea, right? It's an idea that you haven't had before. So Aquarius is what helps us connect to those new ideas, right? And what is new in terms of an idea could be life changing. It could be world changing. We don't know what's possible because we haven't thought of it yet. So, so that Pluto and Aquarian power is really potent and transformational. Pluto now in Aquarius, where other than for a few weeks at the end of this year, which is a different subject, Pluto will be until 2043. So this is the journey we are embarking on now, is this bigger picture of how new ideas shape our lives, how the thinking of the future comes into our ways of seeing ourselves, our ways of seeing what's possible. There's shakeup, there's change. Some of it is destabilizing, some of it is sudden and unexpected, but also can be focused on grassroots change, uh, issues of justice, equality, freedom, social justice, themes of freedom and equality. So, kind of a big deal in terms of some of the social issues of our times, political issues of our times. Also, of course, dealing with the problems of the world, like climate change and things. So what is the new thinking that that we might be on the verge of, that might occur to us over the next 20 years, of how things could shift and change? So with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, we at this moment, at this Sagittarius full moon moment, which is, it's not a moment, it's about a week right around the full moon, but still a blip, right, in the bigger picture of 20 years. So that during this moment, we are expanding into our beliefs about who we are, our beliefs about what we're capable of, our beliefs about what is possible. And so you can see how that could bring out some of these Aquarian themes of the new thinking that hasn't occurred to us yet. Additionally, because Pluto is retrograde, it is working its energy out internally. So when planets go retrograde, they go inward. The themes of that planet, the qualities and the story it's working through tends to move inward, where we work things out on the inside internally. And so there's some looking at old things from the past, themes from the past that may be ready to be released, transformed. So in this case, we're really looking at some of our own personal thinking from the past, what has defined us in the past, what has given us a set of beliefs or philosophy of life or philosophy of who we are, that maybe is ready to be released or grow up or expand into something new that helps us move into the future we want to create, the future that has the results we want to experience. whether that's results for ourselves in our own lives, whether that's results in the world, whether that is, all of the things that feel like ideals. And Aquarius really speaks to those ideals. It is the ideas of the future, and so it is the ideals and the thinking and the higher levels of possibility that we want to align with. So this full moon does a few things, right? On the one hand, it is representing a shift of the planets from Taurus into Gemini, where we're shifting more into thinking about thinking, less thinking about feelings and the tangible connection to the earth, and more into our minds and how we process the information. So, Gemini energy is good for communication. It's good for writing. It's good for thinking things through, maybe through some brainstorming, some journaling, things that involve words and communication, talking things through with a friend. So, we're going to shift from the physical, visceral experience of things into how do we talk about them? How do we exchange information about them? How do we share and present and convey that information? And then the full moon in Sagittarius is bringing an expansion to who we are, how we see ourselves, what we see ourselves as capable of, how we shape and form our beliefs about reality, about who we are, and a philosophy of life. and with a Sagittarius full moon. So Sagittarius, as I mentioned, is ruled by Jupiter. So what Jupiter is doing helps to inform us at deeper levels about what this full moon brings. And Jupiter is going from Taurus into Gemini. I believe it's on Saturday, technically Saturday the 25th, that Jupiter makes its entry into Gemini. So real shift here as well. Jupiter spends about a year in a sign. So it's been hanging out in Taurus, right? Asking us to focus on our beliefs and philosophy in terms of how we connect with the earth, how we view ourselves and our routines, our what is predictable in our lives, and how we receive information and shape our beliefs through how we receive information through our senses. Very Taurus, right? How we experience beauty. So we've been expanding in that area. And now what's happening is, as Jupiter goes into Gemini, that planet of expansion, of growth, of bigger pictures of thinking and opportunity and new possibility and going beyond where we've been before, Jupiter going into Gemini brings this potential for new thinking, for expanding into new ideas, for growing into a new philosophy of life, a new way of seeing ourselves, a new way of understanding and seeing what's possible. So again, really, like, it's a perfect time to look at your beliefs, where those beliefs have defined you in the past, where your beliefs about yourself, your situation, your circumstances, what you're capable of, what is available to you, all of those beliefs. Um, what these planets are saying to us is that that made sense at one time, but there's actually more. There's more here for you. There is more that you can expand into that you have not tapped into yet. And so when we start to see ourselves differently, when we start to expand into how we could think about things in new ways, and call in and invite in those new possibilities, we actually are creating space. Like, it's like giving it a bigger container, right? We're creating a bigger container for what's possible in our lives. And I want to really encourage you to think about this in terms of society and the world around you, and how you might have a set of beliefs about what is possible for society, for humanity, right? Sometimes what you see in the news, on social media, might be a little depressing. And so let's remember that that is a contained and defined view of the world, right? That is what somebody somewhere wants you to believe. It is not the limitation. It is not what defining what we're capable of. So we can create this bigger container of possibility and say, here's what I envision for the future. Here's what I believe is possible. Here's what I'm going to put my faith and trust and hope into. Because when we do that as individuals, it creates a ripple effect, right? We can inspire people around us, and then those people can say, hey, yeah, why not? Why shouldn't we believe that's possible? Why shouldn't we work to create that? And how are we limiting ourselves from working to create something because we have already decided that it's not possible? You see how that works? And so that's what this full moon is telling us. It's reminding us that when you choose your limitations based on the beliefs that are provided to you, whether it's by the way that news is presented in a particular article, or whether it is the way a certain friend of yours thinks and talks about things, or whether it is the beliefs that you have from the past and wherever those may have come from, right? It's like there is no actual reason why we need to be limited by that container that someone else gave us or that we gave ourselves in the past. So we can say, hey, let's just make the container bigger. Let's just call in and invite in for ourselves this bigger space of possibility. And let's act as though that is the place that we have to create in, right? That is the space that is available to us. It is this bigger, wider, more expansive view of possibility. So that is what this full moon is really asking us to expand into and to trust. It's asking us to put a bigger picture of faith and trust in ourselves, in the universe, in our fellow human beings, in our communities, in our leaders, in our systems, and really expand into some problem solving mindsets instead of some limited mindsets. That's the way all the planets work together to help us expand. And of course, with Neptune in the last degree of Pisces, we are also asked to let go of old ways of being, to step into, embrace a more expansive imagination for what is to come in the next cycle as we step into a rebirth when Neptune goes into Aries next year. So we're getting really, really close to that, but not quite crossing that line into Aries yet for Neptune. Saturn continues in Pisces. So we're really asked to expand our ability to imagine what is possible. And Saturn is about the container. So Saturn in Pisces is saying, how are you going to define this? What is your choice about what you see is possible? How are you going to make a choice about how the container will be shaped, how big it will be, where the limits of possibility will be? So Very exciting. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I do have for this upcoming full moon a guided meditation, a new guided meditation for the Sagittarius full moon. It's called Truth in a New Era. It helps you tap into your own heart's truth about what is right for you in terms of expanding in your own beliefs, in your own sense of possibility, and really calling in a bigger picture of truth and what it is we are capable of creating. So that guided meditation is available at astrologyheals.com, my website. I'm Marina Orms. I will also post the link to that guided meditation. It's $15, very affordable, really accessible, affordable way to connect with the deeper powers of what the planets are bringing and how to support yourself in your own self-care through this process. So again, I'm Marina Orms, and I will put the link in the description for this video for the guided meditation. My website is astrologyheals.com. Thank you so much for being here and for subscribing to support my work. I so appreciate you. Thank you for sharing this video with a friend if you enjoyed it. Share the information, and that of course supports my work and gets this spirit of possibility out there to more people. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.